What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jahmyr's World Podcast. Right now, we're going to be wrapping up Week 8 in the 2023 season. It's going to be the Raiders and the Lions, and I'm telling you right now, a lot of you guys were really stressed out watching Devante Adams last night play with Jimmy Garropolo. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some insight into that whole situation because leaving the Green Bay Packers, that was primarily his decision, and I know that everybody's going to be like, yo, the players have to always do what's in the best interest of themselves. Also, the fact that Devante Adams wanted to play with Derek Carr, and it didn't work out that way. Obviously, Derek Carr is now with the New Orleans Saints. I don't really care about all that, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't really feel bad for what's happening to Devante Adams, and I understand that he feels that Jimmy Garropolo is the worst quarterback ever. I understand that. That's all fine, but let me just explain something to you guys, right? It doesn't really matter. You are leaving Aaron Rodgers to go to Derek Carr. Just think about his plan to begin with. See, this is what people don't really analyze. You can have whatever plan you want, but it has to make sense. His plan never made sense from the beginning, because even if he had Derek Carr, he would still be losing. Probably not in this fashion, but you would still be losing. That dude sucks. So I don't want to hear people tell me, oh yeah, the plan didn't work out. It was supposed to be Derek Carr. Like, bro, either way, he was screwed. You can't leave a really good situation that has some bad things going on, because Aaron Rodgers, in fairness to Devante, was acting like a diva, and every single season he was saying he was going to retire. That's fine. If I'm Devante Adams, I'm going to wait to see what happens. You saw what the other dude did, Alan Lazard, right? He ended up on the Jets. He's like, bro, he goes so hard. When he was with the Packers, he ended up on the Jets when Aaron Rodgers went. Aaron Rodgers ultimately got injured, but he'll probably be back if the Jets can make the playoffs. But what I'm saying is, you have to be comfortable in that situation. I'm going to give you guys an example, and some of you guys, may be like, all right, G, I feel you on this one, right? Calvin Johnson. Now, the Detroit Lions used to be a very, very bad team. They went 0-16 when it was only a 16-game season, blah, blah, blah. What did Calvin Johnson do? He dealt with what Matthew Stafford was doing, right? He did excessive amounts of weed, allegedly, even though he admitted it publicly. I still don't know if it's really true. Like, bro, I don't know anything about anything. But he dealt with the pain, because as bad as Matthew Stafford was, he knew that he had the arm to get him the ball, right? So he didn't go and run around like, yo, I got to leave. I got to do all this. Bro, he stayed there and lost like a man with the Detroit Lions. I'm not saying that that's what Devante Adams should have done. What I'm giving you guys is another example. Yes, certain situations are really bad, but when you leave that situation, it gets worse. And that's what happened with Devante Adams. So him smashing his helmet, saying that Jimmy Garropolo sucks and that he's the worst quarterback ever and that the guy should have never been, he should have never made a squad. Listen, all those things are true, okay? And this is another reason why I think Bill Belichick should be fired. Some of you guys don't really think about what led up to current situations, right? Remember, Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of Tom Brady 5 years earlier than he actually left, because he thought he saw something in Jimmy Garropolo. So either Bill Belichick is blind or he's going senile. Either way, he should not be the coach of the New England Patriots right now, but he actually is. So it's a very disturbing situation all around surrounding Jimmy Garropolo. There was no confidence in him. Nobody cares. Let me just give you guys an insight into his night last night. He was 10 of 21 for 126 yards, 1 interception. He was sacked 6 times. He had a rating of 46.9 and a QBR of 3.7. Okay? Single digits. He sucks. And I've been saying that since he played with the Patriots. But nobody wants to listen. People really think that, talent like Tom Brady grows on trees. We're starting to see now that there's not a lot of excitement with the current quarterbacks, other than a few, since Tom Brady has retired. So as much as Tom Brady was running around acting like, yo, I'm coming back, we all watched him, and even when he was at his worst, he was better than all the garbage that we're watching now. So, in fairness to the Raiders, you guys sucked regardless. It didn't really matter. Devante Adams chose to go there. So, you got to always remember, the ownership runs what goes on. They get rid of players, they get rid of people, staff, however they feel. Devante Adams' plan was done from the beginning. And I can guarantee you this, right? The New Orleans Saints with Derek Carr, they're not going that far either. Okay, because he's not consistently good like that. So it doesn't really matter. And I know I'm going to get a lot of, but he's better than Jimmy Garropolo. Okay, dude, a dead ant is better than Jimmy Garropolo. He sucks, and it's clear. But that's not what this is about. What it's about is the fact that the plan from Devante Adams was always bad from the beginning. And that's a major issue. Now, Jared Goff, is he that good of a quarterback? No, but his team is a lot better, and Jahmyr Gibbs is really, really good. And if you had him on your fantasy team, you're probably smiling from ear to ear right now. because now everybody's starting to realize if you give this rookie running back the ball, good things are going to happen. So now the Lions are discovering not only can Amon-Ra St. Brown, go ahead and get 6 receptions for 108 yards, Sam LaPorta go out there, get a touchdown. You now have a running back that you can utilize in the passing game and the rushing game. This team is formidable at 6-2 and 3-1 at home. They're absolutely formidable. But that is no excuse for the Raiders to go and lay down and lose the game 26-14 because Garropolo can't get a wide open receiver. Now look, Devante Adams had 1 catch. He had 7 targets, okay? 1 catch, 7 targets. Most of those targets were thrown to the stands to the hot dog vendor, okay? I don't know exactly what is going on, but I think they have to fire the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, the head coach has to go. There's a lot of other things that have to happen as well, but I think they got to start with firing the head coach. Jimmy Garropolo obviously should not even be a backup in the league. It's not even a question at this point. He sucks. You can't hit a wide open receiver as an NFL quarterback. You don't need to play the game. It's very, very simplistic. And these are certain things that need to be addressed immediately because, again, this is where it comes down to the fact where people ask me, is it fair what they're doing to the fan base of the Las Vegas Raiders? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. That's one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL, and you put this garbage out there on the field, somebody has to get fired. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, maybe fire the janitor to show that you don't care. Like, dude, it doesn't really matter. Just do something to show that you're not in agreement with what Jimmy Garropolo is doing. Then make sure he's gone. He should not be on this team next year. Jimmy Garropolo should not be playing for the Las Vegas Raiders next year. That's bottom line. Devante Adams, for me, like I said, I don't feel any sympathy for him. So I'm not really concerned if he goes to another team or not, or if he has to deal with it and stick it out there. That's his bed. He has to lay in it. I don't really care. But ultimately, I do believe that the Raiders have a lot of, changes that have to be made, starting from the head coach. And if they don't do these things, they're going to continue to lose. And it's very, very obvious. As far as the Lions go, you know what? They're going to be the most dominant in their division, obviously, in my opinion. They're probably going to be the most dominant. The Vikings and, the Packers and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what they're... Look, dude, honestly, right now, I have no idea what's going on in the entire NFL. All I know is that every week we get surprised by what we see, and we have no idea what's going on. And then, it changes up. But the Lions with their 2 losses, their 2 losses were bad losses, but remember what they once were. And you start to appreciate where they are now and what Dan Campbell is doing. It's still a growth process. And they're like, what would actually make them be really, really formidable, where people will say, you know what, this team's ready to go? If they get a better quarterback. But that's obviously very, very hard to do. Jared Goff is trash. But he, like I said, he can do certain things. He reminds me of like Ryan Tannehill. Like when he's on, he can have a halfway decent game. But when he's off, he just sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird scenario. But again, regardless of which avenue you take with it, the Detroit Lions are playing absolutely, decent football right now. Last year, they should have made the playoffs. It didn't work out like that with the scenarios. But this year, they're absolutely going to make the playoffs. So we'll see how they work out. We'll see if that grit and that dominance from Dan Campbell actually goes through. But again, Jahmyr Gibbs, I heard people saying, Barry Sanders. I'm going to tell you guys this right now, okay? I was very, very fortunate to see Barry Sanders play, like actually while he was actively playing. I was really young. I don't remember exactly what, I don't exactly remember every little thing that he did, but I do remember this. The way that he moved and the way that his team was trash and everything was on him, I don't think you can compare this young man to Barry Sanders. Okay, so like people always get excited. You see a couple runs. No. This guy's not Barry Sanders, but he is pretty good. Barry Sanders was so damn good that they would hand the ball off on 4th and 97 and he would go for 6. Like, bro, true story. That dude is a savage beast. Juke moves out of this world. Look, dude, I'm just letting everybody know. Please give this young man time to grow. Let the Lions enjoy their win and let's move forward. But I just wanted to address that. I heard a couple people saying that. Obviously, like I said, we're going to see where this team goes. But at this point right now, the one thing that we can know is that the Raiders suck and they need to fire everyone and probably just trade and start all over again. Do something like that. I know Al Davis is like, he's rolling around in his grave like, you dudes are idiots, bro. But regardless, it is what it is. Week 8 is wrapped up. I hope to see you guys back soon. Remember, you could download this podcast for free. iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Gmod's World Podcast. Enjoy your day. Happy Halloween. One love, y'all.